Welcome to another episode of Drunk, Liar, and a Teacher, the podcast where everything's made up and our comments don't matter, just like any form of communication within this group. Mike, would you like
Not
to explain?
let me preface this.
All
It's
right.
like I'm drunk. I look at the text and I'm like, when did I write this?
All right. So what happened is that I had family over in the last minute, and they came by, and then drinks were coming in, hookah was there, and
How many?
at the time I was actually feeling like him. I was like, man, no wonder he does this.
What are you
I
doing?
feel free. I feel free like a butterfly.
Yeah, but how many? Yeah, the butterflies. Yes, the fucking butterflies. But no, how many times that has stopped me from doing a recording?
Yeah, true.
Well, that's the thing, though. I have morals.
No, you
have
have no
morals.
experience. That's what you have.
Oh, okay, my
Ooh.
bad.
But
Listen, people.
you gotta tell
Yeah,
the
go
whole thing,
ahead.
right? It's not because you drink. It's not because that's not the issue. Because Ham drinks all the time, just like he said. The issue was, listeners, we could have recorded this episode and had it ready for New Year's, and Mike was like, "Well, we can just do it. We can still do it tomorrow. We can make it work." I'm like, "But you have family over, and it's a Spanish family. We all know how that goes. They party till like 5 a.m." And he's like, no, tomorrow we can do it. I'll make it work. And I was like, Ham, quote him. He's like, I know. And Mike's response, I know the ways. And then what happens the next
You don't know
day? You
shit.
fuck up. You
Listen.
fuck up.
I take full responsibility, and I'm not
Yeah,
sorry.
see, I was waiting for that part. I know that part.
No, but my bad if I left you guys there on the dust, just there waiting for me. But hey, we're here now, so we're gonna kick off the New Year's a great episode.
Speaking of New Year's, listeners, happy belated New Year's, because this episode is coming out either the 2nd or the 3rd. I don't know. Depends on how fast I can edit this. But happy belated New Year's. Gentlemen, how did you celebrate your New Year's?
So I had family over, as I mentioned. At my house, we just chill, like drinks, hookah, and laugh and everything like that, and it was great. It was actually relaxing. It was we were deciding of like to probably like go out after 12 o'clock, but then we're like, you know what? Why? We're Spanish people, so we'll make a club. We'll make a club in our house. So that's what we pretty much did.
No fireworks?
No fireworks because the drinks in our minds and everything made us believe that we saw fireworks and we created fireworks.
That's
So
fair.
that was good enough for free.
Ham, how did you spend your New
It
Year's?
was probably one of my favorite New Year's. Could be of all time. Uh, Intimate New Year's. Very. Everything was good. I don't know what to say. I was watching Little Back to the Future. They were showing it on randomly Lifetime, which that was weird. 1, 2, and
Lifetime?
yeah, Lifetime.
Lifetime.
Same. Everyone. I'm like telling the same story. Yes, Lifetime. I don't know why, but that's where we're watching it. And went to just one bar, hung out for what, maybe a couple hours, and then called it quits. It was very, very enjoyable. Best New Year's ever.
But anyways, how was you, Sal?
Mine was boring. We just slept. We literally just fell asleep. We're up to like maybe 10:30. The kids started falling asleep. We were exhausted, and we were like, "Yeah, let's just go to sleep," and that was it. So we didn't do any New Year's party or anything. I mean, her parents came over for a little bit to have some dinner, but that was it. And yeah, so yeah, uneventful. But I mean, I don't know. New Year's is not a big deal to me, like it is for a lot of people, I guess. So yeah, that's just how I spent it. So
But you guys
with the
didn't
New
watch the
Year's,
New Year's Eve, Rockin' Eve?
no, I heard terrible
No,
things
Dick
about
Clark
it the
made a
day after
cameo.
the. Oh,
Yeah,
really? How's he
yeah,
doing?
yeah. It was, yeah. Mike doesn't get that, I think. So, all right.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm too young.
You he knows only Ryan
Yes,
Seacrest.
yes, he
That's it.
does.
But I heard the musical performances were terrible though.
I don't know. I was kidding, but I know you used to watch that every now and then, right?
Yeah, I used to. I mean, I don't know. Ryan Seacrest is all right, but
Yeah.
it's just not the
Yeah.
same because it's supposed to be Dick Clark's rocking New Year's Eve, and it's just not the same. Yeah.
The thing is with Ryan Seacrest is that like I know who he is, but I've never understood of what he was famous for. It's just
American
for
Idol.
just being an
American Idol.
announcer.
I mean, he's like a very personable, like, I don't know. He's got that talk show personality kind of vibe. So he was one of the original people for American Idol, one of the hosts for American Idol, and then it was just him that carried it on for many seasons. And then he was a co-host for was it Kelly and oh my
Regis?
gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Yeah, Kelly and Regis. So after Regis, it was Ryan Seacrest. So he was on there for a while, and then Ryan Seacrest has his own radio show, and so he's all over the place. He's that like network
Yeah, he has his own
media
radio
guy.
show too.
All right, New Year's resolutions. You guys made any?
A couple of things like for myself, like personal stuff. And of course for this podcast as well is to take it to the next level and look for some sponsors, right, guys, and get more listeners.
Agreed.
And definitely get better.
Oh yes,
quality,
I agree, especially on my account.
For sure, listeners. For this year, we're going to try to get better. We're going to get better, and we're going to definitely reach for the sky.
Just for you guys, not for us.
Yeah, that's my motivational speech. If you don't like it, oh well, I have nothing else for you.
I made I think a couple. I made one was Mike to get better. Every aspect known to man. Make sure.
Wow, how selfless of you.
Make sure he sets a date and time to do something and does it.
Commits to it.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, he got it. Sal, for him to maybe have some more free time. Maybe travel a little bit more eventually.
Okay, how about resolutions for you?
Oh, is that how that works? No, I'm
Yeah.
good. I don't need anything. I'm perfect.
Oh man, if only we were like you.
Only. Jesus Christ.
No, I
Only.
don't do resolutions. I think they're maybe a cop out. If you want to do a resolution, do it 3 months out or 3 months before or something. Don't do it when everyone else is doing it.
Well, yeah, the trick is you're supposed to start it 3 months before
really?
the New Year, so that way because if you do that, then going into the New Year's, you kind of already have that mentality of like, oh, I'm already doing it, cool, I can continue it, and then push one step further.
Exactly. All right. I like that.
That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds right.
How about you, Sal?
But
I have so a couple video game ones. Of course, is to reach 152 in Halo
That
5.
happened already.
Well, you
I
broke the
did
bet,
not
so it
break
didn't
the
fucking matter.
I already told you. It's got it on record.
I want to complete my Pokedex in Pokemon Home, which is getting 896 Pokemon. So that's a whole feat on its own.
Again?
That's 896.
No, aren't they charging you?
Oh, Pokemon Home. It's like $16 a year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. So there's that, and then some just a couple actual personal goals. One of them is to drink less energy drinks because I need to really
You
stop.
almost scared me there. You said drink less, and I'm like, whoa.
No. Not drink less alcohol. Drink less energy
Okay.
drinks because I've been drinking Monster way too many
wonder why.
times, and it's obviously because of the Halo promotion. But that's dying down now, so it's gotten to a point where like if I see a Monster can and it doesn't have Master Chief on it, I'm like, I can pass on this. It's
Also,
all right.
did I see cookies too? Weren't they
what?
doing like I saw like Halo cookies or?
Oh yeah, they're supposed to be on Chips Ahoy,
Yeah.
but I don't. They're weird with their promotion because it's like only in certain places because they're supposed to be Butterfingers and 7-Eleven cups, but I know the 7-Eleven cups are definitely only in Canada.
Ah.
So I don't know if like the gum, the Butterfingers, and the Chips Ahoy are only specific. Yeah, it's weird.
Interesting.
And the only one that's the only goal that I kind of want to try to keep as much as possible, it's kind of a weird one I made with my students, is to try to text as grammatically correct as possible. So like text as if like I'm writing a proper paper. So like I'm trying not to also do contractions. So instead of saying can't, I'm trying to do cannot. Also making sure I have my periods and my commas all set and everything. This originated from like a weird conversation of like how these kids are using words like sus instead of suspicious. And I went on a little rant of like, why are you guys being so lazy, being shorthanded, blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, you know what? I do the same thing when I text. You know, I'm going to change it. I'm going to start lawn texting, I guess you can call it. I don't know what's the proper terminology for it, but that's kind of a goal I want to try to stick to. Just, I don't know, for kicks and giggles.
You know what's so weird about that is now these days when somebody sends you a long text, they're like, "Oh my god, are they serious?
Yeah.
Are you expecting me to read this?" So think about that twice before you send me a long
Well, I always send long
text.
text.
Hey,
I'm doing speech to
hey, we
text.
already know you don't read, Mike.
I was
Okay,
about to say,
so
hey guys, I can't read. I can't.
Well, guess what, assholes? I'm on chapter 15 of Ready Player One.
Whoa! And
So,
I finished the second book already.
I still gotta
oh
buy
no,
it.
never mind. I'm 15 pages into Ready Player One. Never mind.
Was
Okay.
that a real mess up, or did you actually just mess up?
Oh man. All
I
right.
don't know.
Listeners, let's get straight to it. We have our first major movie review to do. It is Wonder Woman 1984, a movie that has been delayed, what, 4 times
I lost
already?
count.
Yeah,
Yeah, 4 times, almost
maybe
fifth, but
almost as much as Cyberpunk,
Yeah,
basically. Um,
or New
and
Mutants.
it finally came out on HBO Max, which, by the way, I'm gonna have to go on a slight rant. Fuck you, HBO, because you're whatever you did not send Hot Topic the memo that your free trials don't work anymore. I had to use Ham's free
All right, all
trial
right.
to access HBO Max, so I never got my 7 days. I'm using his 30 days. Thank you, Ham, by the way, for sponsoring me. And
I don't know if you heard that.
And yeah, so it came out on Christmas Day. I watched it the day after Christmas. Did you guys catch it right away on Christmas Day, or did you guys wait?
I saw it right after Christmas. No, right on Christmas actually.
And Ham, you went to see it in theaters.
Well, I did both because I fell asleep. Um,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, and slight tangent, but something I will bring up later. And to answer Ham's question from before we started
Oh
recording,
yes.
I did watch Shazam, and and I
Mm.
do have I do have words to say about it, but I'm gonna wait until our Wonder Woman spoilers
Okay.
section because I think I'll be able to justify what I think about that movie based on what Mike says.
Get it. Justified. Justice League. Get it.
Oh,
Get it.
Justice. Damn, that was an Easter egg. I almost didn't catch it. Good job.
Go ahead.
All right, so Wonder Woman 1984, a movie that we were all excited to watch. I kind of slightly started to lose interest a little bit because it was getting
Mm-hmm.
delayed for so
Mm-hmm.
long. I know Ham and I did kind of call out a couple things on the trailer that we watched,
Mm-hmm.
especially some of the CGI. I think Mike from the get-go was kind of all gun-ho about it, was excited for it, kind of praised it a bit. And so
Page a bit. I had my concerns though. I did have
yeah.
my concerns about the movie.
So we will just do our usual routine of we'll give our general review of what we thought of the movie, give our cards, and then we'll break into our spoiler section. So Mike, go ahead and start us off.
All right. So I've been looking forward to doing this review for quite some time.
We should have done it sooner.
So yeah, sooner, right? All right. My review of this movie is that okay, so I'm gonna just take the listeners to a little ride because I had to organize my reviews and my review for this movie and everything like that. So the first phase of the movie I was okay with. I had the mentality of like, okay, so they're sort of doing what they did with Iron Man 3, where instead of we're focusing on Wonder Woman, it's just Diana of like where she's been up to, what kind of challenges she's been facing with living in the real world now instead of going back to where she's from originally. And I kind of did like the first scene of what the movie brought. And even though there's a scene of the movie that I felt like was a little dramatic, but I'll save that in spoilers. And they introduced Maxwell, played by Pedro. What's
Mandalorian.
his last name,
Yeah,
guys?
just say that.
Pedro Pas
The
Pe-
Mandalorian
Pedro
man.
Pascal.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal. And I liked him. I like in the movie. And I liked him in the first phase. And then in the second phase, in the middle of the movie, I yelled out. I paused the movie and I was watching with a group, and I just yelled out, "Where the fuck is this going?" And then going towards the third phase, I just checked out of the movie. Guys, I'm going to say this. I'd rather watch Captain Marvel instead of this movie.
Oh,
This is by far the worst DC movie that DC has ever come out
see, I
with.
knew you were gonna say that,
Worse,
but I was not expecting a Captain Marvel
worse
comic.
than Green Lantern?
I'd rather see Green Lantern because Green Lantern is so bad that it's
It is pretty
enjoyable.
funny.
This movie is just bad because this movie is so bad and it takes itself so seriously, and it's so heartbreaking to see that what they did to a great superhero, Wonder Woman, what they did in the first one was great. I love the first one. Everybody gives a shit for phase 3 of the first one, but I loved it from beginning to end. And in this movie, there's no connection to the first one. There's no connection to anything. I don't know why people are saying, "Oh, on Wonder Woman 84 fixes the DC story a lot." What the hell do they fix? There's nothing that they did that I was like, "Oh, okay, so this explains a lot." No. And there's a part of the movie where I was just like, "Well, that's bullshit. She never did that in Batman v Superman or in Justice League. So they did it in this one. What? That and this is from the past." And then the worst part is that the villain, Maxwell, what they did with Maxwell is that in the comics he's a
Watch out for
metahuman where he
spoilers.
manipulates.
Uh,
It's okay. He he manipulates people because he has the power of becoming a metahuman. But in this one, he's a wishy man
you mean like a genie?
where he's a genie pretty much. Yeah, he just takes advantage of people. But the thing is that he doesn't have an end game. There's no clarification of why he wants to do the things that he does in this movie. And the thing is that they don't even explain of how he knows about the stone or any of that. And then the worst part of the movie, this is the worst part of the movie, is Cheetah. Cheetah is so forced in this movie. And that's one of the things that I was so nervous about because she was barely in the trailer. I mean, of course, Barbara, like just the human herself, she was in the
Uh-huh.
trailer. But is that I was like, how come they're not really showing Cheetah? Probably they don't want to
Oh, I
spoil
can
the
tell you
movie.
why.
Maybe they're just saving they're and stuff like that. But the way that they made her in this movie is so embarrassing. The motive of of her of her being bad is so lazy and is embarrassing and very oh, man, like it's so frustrating to see what they did to this movie. This is a red card. I don't know if anybody guessed that, but yeah, it's a red card. Worst DC movie ever. I'm just done. I'm done with DC. I don't care anymore. Like, of course, I want to watch the movies that they come out, but
Okay.
to be honest, I want
I'm done, but
Warner
I'm gonna
Brothers.
do it.
I'm going to do it, but Warner Brothers needs to sell the
If
licensing.
I
They need to
if
sell
I
it
could if I could ask, how well versed are you with Wonder Woman comics?
pretty well. I've read a good amount of. I've read like the two versions of Cheetah. I've read part of. I think it was Reborn or the New 52
Okay.
and stuff. So like I'm just I don't know. I just never felt one Wonder Woman being Wonder Woman in this movie. The amount of Wonder Woman that you get in this movie is the same amount that you see in the trailer.
Huh.
It's kind of
And
like, well, it's kind of like how you put it. I think that's kind of a good way of comparing it though to Iron Man 3, where you don't really see Tony Stark in the Iron Man
I call
suit
that
that
out.
much. It's very much mostly about Tony Stark, and I think kind of seeping into my review, but it's more focused on Diana.
Yeah.
So yeah.
yeah, no, for sure. And but the thing is that I wasn't buying into of what was going on in the story. I wasn't buying into it. I didn't feel any of the characters. What this movie suffered from, for me at least, is just poor writing. I
Agreed.
think Gal Gadot and Steve Pines
Chris Pines.
and oh, Chris Pine. Sorry, I don't know why I said because his
Yeah,
character's
that's
name is
fine.
Steve. But so I like him. I like Pedro in this movie. I like the other girl who played
Christian Wiig.
Cheetah. Yeah, I think they have a great cast in this movie, but this movie suffers so much is the writing. the writing and the dialogue, and everybody just fucking teleports too as well, and there's no explanation of how you get to point A to point B, and then you go back to point A the next literally
Hmm.
hour or
Yeah.
even minute. Um, and of course we have a little stupid scene.
Spoilers,
Towards the end there's
motherfucker.
a little. Well, no. I'm not talking about. Well, there's a mid credit, guys, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. But the ending of the movie is so stupid. It's like Hallmark made that part of the movie.
uh,
Um, it's just terrible, guys. I could go on and on and on, but I want to save that for spoilers. Um, I don't recommend it. Don't watch it. Just don't watch it. Warner Brothers, please sell the rights. Sell the rights to somebody that actually is gonna care. Sell it to
Marvel
fucking
Studios.
Disney. I
Disney,
don't know,
great.
somebody. Sell it to one of the people, one of the entertainment companies that will actually do a great
Okay.
job.
All right,
Fuck it, sell it to
all
Sony.
right, Ham.
They'll do a
Just
better job.
Ham. What's your take on the movie?
Well. I'm gonna keep this somewhat short for me and sweet, I guess, or unsweet, or whatever you want to call it. Like I said before, I went to go see it in theaters. I was a little tired. I had a few drinks, and then got very tired, and then kept like waking up here and there, and I'm like, okay, cool, and then just closing my eyes, and then eventually saw it again on HBO Max. 50% paying attention. Uh, the first 20 minutes I could watch without any sound. I mean, I don't know if that's saying something or whatever, but it's in theater or it's in the trailer. There's there is fireworks. Where do those fireworks come from? Can anybody tell me that?
It's Fourth of July in the
Is it?
movie.
I was not paying attention to
Yeah.
that. It's 4th of July.
Yeah.
Oh, well then that makes sense. Whoopsies. Uh,
But I think I understand of what you're saying because there's a line that he said was like, "Whoa, what are those, motherfucker? There's fireworks the time when you were fucking alive."
yeah, that's true. I think the Asians made
Were
them.
there? I don't know.
Asians made them back in the day with a bunch of stuff. Okay, so I didn't even catch that. Whatever. Um, you guys said Pedro Pascal. I saw him in a Netflix movie starring a bunch of little superhero kids.
Oh my goodness.
I thought he did better in that than Wonder Woman. I didn't like his character.
Mm.
I don't think, like you said, written well. Um, but whatever. Ending, whatever. Cheetah, we can talk about that later. I really just wanted to give this a yellow, but after hearing Mike and me falling asleep says something, so I guess I have visuals. Some daytime visuals look all right, and whatever. But I do have to give this a red, I guess. Yeah,
Huh,
red it
okay.
is.
It's the first hour is hard to get through because
Hour,
it is
wow.
because it wasn't until when Steve Trevor's character came in and they started trying to figure out stuff. That's when like the movie started to pick up because everything beforehand is very much
Uh-huh.
backstory
Yeah, like
and very like, okay, well, as like Mike said, like catching up with Diana
yeah.
and what she's been through and and who she's been interacting with and what she's doing now, and it was very hard to get through, and I don't want to say boring because I wasn't bored. I didn't think anything in there was pointless. I think it could have been shortened.
Yeah.
There were definitely scenes that could have just been edited a little bit less, so that way you didn't have to drag it out into an hour, which is why I think a lot of people are just finding it very boring. But I I didn't hate it. I don't hate it as much as you guys did. I don't hate it as much
I
as the
don't
whole
hate it
world
either,
does.
but it's just
But I don't think it's as good as the first one. And I
Uh-huh.
think part of the problem is maybe a lot of people were expecting a lot of high end Wonder Woman action because Cheetah is
Uh-huh.
and this is why I asked Mike about the comic book because I'm not well versed in Wonder Woman comic books. I read the Rebirth series of Wonder Woman, like the first maybe 20 something issues, and that's it. So I don't know really what her character is supposed to be portrayed. Um, I just I was okay with the characters in the movie. I was okay with how they kind of carry themselves out. I don't think Cheetah was supposed to be the main event. That could have been maybe kind of false
Uh
marketing a
huh.
little bit, and because she's more of like a lackey in
Uh
the
huh.
movie than she is a main villain. And Pedro Pascal's character Maxwell Lord, he's the main villain. And the problem with him though is that you have a very uh dangerous concept. You say the wishing person, right? The genie or
Hmm.
whatever, and it's a very tricky thing to play off because when you deal with things like time travel and wishing for whatever you want to
Yeah,
wish for.
it's like monkey's paw, like what
Yeah.
they mentioned in the movie.
Sure. You know, it kind of, you have, for me, I don't expect any sort of logic in DC movies. Like, and that sounds bad, but that's not what I'm not trying to insinuate a bad connotation to that. It's just like, so what if they show up at a place like 2 minutes after they said, "Hey, meet me there"? Like, it's a comic book movie. Like, you want to tell me that?
But come on, Sal, you cannot tell me that where Marvel literally does not even do that whatsoever. And it's the thing is that,
But
of
that's not
course,
how
yeah,
they
you could
set it
show,
up though. That's the that's the biggest difference between Marvel and DC is that
but at the same time,
DC has never ever tried to be logical. The only thing that they maybe tried to was the Nolan trilogy, and that's it. But when they started doing Justice League, when they started doing Batman versus Superman, like, logic just goes out
Green
the window.
Lantern.
There's like, well, sure, that too, but like with Marvel, from the get-go, from Iron Man 1, they have always tried to make things as realistic as possible. And that's where a lot of people don't give Thor credit, right? Because Thor is like, oh, what about Thor? He's an Asgardian. He's like this other realm thing. Yeah, but there's like a little conversation he has with Natalie Portman's character about how science is the same thing as magic. You know, they're just called different things in different worlds. And I think that kind of helped bridge the gap a little bit in that sense. So with DC, it's like, you got a person turning into some sort of cat. You've got
Meow.
you got some kid turning into a grown-ass man who happens to just happen to transfer his powers into other kids and they just happen to have it too. Like,
Triple
and you got
Shazam.
Batman who's supposed to battle against Doomsday who doesn't do shit at all.
Bat.
Like, there's no logic in DC movies. Like, I just don't, I'm not gonna like say you're like someone's wrong because you're trying to make, logic work in a movie. I just think that logic shouldn't be an argument made for the movie
Mm.
because it's just I don't know,
Yeah,
it's
but
just a
you're also
DC
shitting on
movie.
DC while you say that.
But
Somewhat.
yeah,
that's
I
what it
don't get
sounds
it.
like,
Yeah,
but like,
somewhat.
it's not a bad thing. Like, I enjoyed Wonder Woman 1984. I did not
Well,
enjoy it as much as I did the first
uh-huh.
one. I'm a solid yellow on this one.
Okay.
I can tell.
I think it's a
I
bullshit yellow, but
Whoa.
okay.
See,
I
now we're
already
shitting on
knew.
DC.
Okay.
I I don't think it's as, I can understand why people think it's boring. I just see it as, okay, these parts were necessary. They just should have just been shortened a little bit. And uh, I just think the marketing for the Cheetah villain, I can see why people are upset about the Cheetah villain, but at the same time, like, I could care less about Cheetah. My main like focus was on Maxwell Lord, who is the main villain, and I don't think Cheetah is done yet. Like, I didn't take the ending as, oh, well, I'm not gonna go into
yeah,
spoilers yet,
which
but I didn't take the ending as what we saw. I think there's like, it's like it left it off a little bit to be like, oh, okay, maybe this could happen in the third movie. So I'm a yellow. I'm just a yellow on it. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it for what it was. There are some nitpicks, sure, but it is what it is. And
Let's get down to sports. Let's-
all right, Mike, go
Sports.
ahead, go into your I don't know, rants or whatever, and Mike, or I'm sorry, Ham can be the referee to you and I as we battle this
Where's my
out.
drinks?
I mean, I don't think there. I don't think it's gonna. I mean, that's not necessary. But the thing is that. But the thing is
Wait a
that
minute now.
I can't really argue with somebody who doesn't really care about DC as much as I do. Like, okay, you're definitely like a Marvel bias, and you're gonna defend Marvel. Where with me, it's just like I just want a great DC movie where they're promising fans that there's gonna be a story connecting to all these movies. But it was frustrating me, and the same thing what I mentioned with Harley Quinn. There's nothing that they're giving me to have hope.
Where was that
And
promise? I
Wonder
didn't see that. I maybe that's
it's articles and everything like that of them resetting. I read a lot of articles connecting with DC, especially with like them saying that Henry Cavill might not come back, but then he is coming back and as Superman. It's because I still have hope that there is something, but at the same time, I'm losing all that hope, and this movie made me lose
But see,
hope
aren't you like
for.
setting yourself up for failure, right? You're expecting
But
you
at the
have
same
way
time,
too many
how?
high
Putting it on a
expectations, and that's why
pedestal.
you're hating these movies because they're not meeting your expectations. Whereas I don't have high expectations because DC had a rough start. That's something we can all agree on. DC had a very bad start into building their
And they're
universe.
still
Okay,
continuing on
building
with the
the
rough with
universe.
that rough.
Okay,
But they've
clarify.
gotten better. You can't tell me Wonder Woman was a bad movie. You can't tell me that Man of Steel was a bad movie. You can't tell me that Aquaman was a terrible movie. Aquaman was more. I and okay, so here's what I thought about Shazam. I like Aquaman more than Shazam. I thought Shazam was a
No.
meh kind of movie. That one had more inconsistencies than
Oh
1984.
no.
I didn't hate Shazam. I would give it a yellow card. There were some parts I enjoyed. I liked the superhero coming to be the superhero concept of it. I just thought that the humor kind of also killed a lot of
Right.
serious
Yeah.
moments where it was
Oh
like,
yeah.
I don't, maybe it's a comic book thing. Maybe this is how Shazam always is, but it just took me away from like, okay, you're building up into this very good moment, but now you just kind of went a little
Yeah.
too far and like, okay, you're meant for like the younger kids.
Hmm.
Okay, whatever. So like, I don't know. Like, I just think the expectation is you're setting
But
it
that,
so far up that you're just going to be
but
disappointed by anything that doesn't meet that.
but at the same time, you cannot say that whatsoever because, like I said, you're a Marvel bias. You're
What
gonna
do I have in
ride
the
Marvel
cabinet?
all the way to the end. No, but it is true though. It's just because it's not that I have my expectations high. Is that I'm expecting for these characters to be done right and a good story. Wonder Woman 1 was a great movie, and I thought it was like supposed to be continuing on this cycle of okay, I think they understand the characters now and they're going to do a good job.
Well,
But then again, and I could agree with you about Shazam. I thought it was meh. It wasn't like nothing like oh my god, it's the best
Of
movie
course
ever.
not.
I just felt like okay, of course not. But the thing is that that's my same question with Shazam. Where is this going? What are you guys doing? Are you guys going to deal with the new gods with Shazam? Sure, I don't think it was a good start of doing that. And of course, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, he's going to play as Black Adam. But then again, why not just put out a Black Adam? Why a Black Adam movie needs to make like? Why is there a movie for him instead of just setting up as a
see, I
villain?
don't. I
But
would argue, not so much argue, but it's just like the way you put Marvel bias. Yeah, sure, I'm a Marvel bias person in general, but like I think it's more of I am not as well versed in the DC characters as you. So here's an example. I think where I'm like you, Spider-Man, right? The Tom Holland Spider-Man, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. How I shit on those Spider-Man are is like how you're reacting, I guess, to this movie. It's like I have a high pedestal for it, and because they're not meeting my expectation, I think Homecoming is a very pointless Spider-Man movie. Should not have existed. Far From Home should have been the only Spider-Man movie we have for this MCU. But then again, it's still not as good because it doesn't meet the expectations of what Peter Parker Spider-Man
right,
should be.
yeah,
So it's not so much of a Marvel bias or a DC bias. It's just more of I am not as knowledgeable about those DC characters as you are. And that's why I had to ask you about the comics. And that's why I said for myself, it's like, I don't know Wonder Woman and Cheetah as well as Mike does because,
right.
I just haven't read up to that. So I don't know if the characters are portrayed as well as they are. So,
So I'll say this then. Let's get down to the movie because I feel that with Cheetah, well, there's two ways of Cheetah was created, and
yeah.
somebody had the dagger of an Amazonian, and it was cursed, and they cut themselves with it, and then turned into Cheetah. And the other version, where I liked Zeus's wife, was so jealous of Diana that she wanted to create um somebody to kill Wonder Woman,
Oh,
and
that
that's
makes
what
sense.
what Cheetah was. I would have liked something like that, where the God of Lies, because they mentioned in this movie that the God of Lies created that stone. And I would have liked for probably, it doesn't need to be Zeus's wife, but at least like the God of Lies like hates Diana and was that created Cheetah off of a human or something like that.
So
Instead of just being just praying, I want to be Diana.
So-
And then she becomes Diana, and then in the end of the movie, you don't even know how the hell she
Yeah,
became
right?
Cheetah.
Well, so there, listeners, for the listeners' sake, the whole first hour is really just catching up on Diana, introducing her to Barbara, and then at the 1 hour mark, because I checked my time, that's when, like, that's just shortly after Steve Trevor's character comes back into the picture, a whole body swap thing, like.
Wait, explain that to me, because I don't.
Diana wished for her boyfriend to come back, and so Steve
In
Trevor,
her mind, in her mind,
yeah, and Steve Trevor does come back, but in someone else's body, and I feel like that has to do with a whole Breaking the Dead rule kind of thing, like you don't mess with like the dead, so this is the only way they could do it. I don't know that there's like a whole bunch of shit
But
with
did
other
they
meat movies.
explain why?
We'll explain why what.
That guy's body, why that one and not somebody else's?
No.
Probably, I don't know. Probably who lives closest to Wonder Woman. I don't know.
I thought I missed that too. I'm just like, what?
No, they didn't explain it. They just like I don't know.
It just happened.
Cool.
The way that I yeah, but the thing is, the way that I see it was that okay, she wished his soul instead of his actual figure, and his soul went into somebody else's body.
I get that,
but then
but why him? Why?
I don't.
But that's the thing though. That person's body that they kidnapped. What happened to his
Jesus
soul?
Christ.
Is his soul sleeping? Is his soul dead?
I don't fucking know. That's why I was trying to figure out
No.
what did I miss? Did I miss
But
something?
It's a wish, right? Like who the hell knows what happens behind the scenes of a wish?
True,
Like
I
I mean,
guess.
Ham, in your past life when you were a genie, do you remember anything about wishes? No, probably not.
I do.
So,
Everyone
like,
would get
again,
fucked in the end.
with time travel and wishing and all this shit, like it kind of you have to like I don't know. There's like a level of suspension of disbelief that you just have to just accept it for what it is, regardless of how stupid you think it is. Like that's just the way they're gonna go about it. And no matter how you try to nitpick around it, like there's gonna be a flaw in any sort of solution.
Yeah.
That's why time travel is such a bitch of a thing to make a movie about. Like it's whatever. But anyway, so with making a wish on the stone, you also have to give something up. In which and I think it was explained that it was the most valuable thing to you. And in that case, for Wonder Woman, it's her powers. So throughout the movie, she starts losing her powers here and there, kind of like a whole, I don't know, Spider-Man 2 fiasco.
You knew you were gonna fucking say that.
I'm sorry, that's the only thing I could think of. But
Uh-huh.
like where he starts to lose his powers randomly, and it's because of this wish that's draining it away from her. Maxwell Lord's character, that one I am disappointed that we don't get that much of a backstory until way later into the movie. But he is looking for the stone, and he does trick Barbara into giving him the stone, and then he wishes to become the stone and be able to grant however many wishes. However, the cost of that then is like he dies internally, like he's losing organs and stuff. But then he just says, "Oh, well, if someone's gonna wish for this, then I can just take their health away or take whatever away from them." And so
that wasn't explained very well either.
It was there. That's how I remembered it. I explained it just the way the movie explained it.
Well, no, how he was gonna get better,
but-
which is like, okay.
He can just wish for it whenever. Like, he doesn't wish for it, but he just takes it away from whoever's making a wish.
Yeah.
But he also has a son who doesn't get enough spotlight, I think, because like the whole first an hour and a half of this movie, with the son appearing like here and there, it's like, okay, I know you're going to be important later. You're probably going to be the thing that brings him back, but you don't do anything to explain your relationship with him because he seems like a very abusive father, and yet you still love him. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was a complete 180 with Maxwell Lord towards the end. So I don't know. That was weird. And then
I found the kid very, I mean, sure, of course, towards the end of the movie, but I found the whole entire kid pointless, and the kid, of course, bad acting.
No, I wouldn't say that. He was a kid. He's not like every other fucking smart kid in Iron Man 3 where he's like, oh, I know how to do this, I know how to do that. He was just a kid. I think he played a kid very well.
Sure, but the thing is that at the same time, well, okay, let me rephrase what I meant to say. Is that I didn't feel any connection with Maxwell and
Okay,
his
that's
Yeah,
fair.
child,
yeah.
as in like, oh my god, like this kid really
So I
loves
didn't
his
play the
dad,
relationship
or
well.
they
Yeah,
didn't play the relationship well
yeah.
whatsoever. There's no chemistry there that I didn't buy into. Like, so when it was in the
Hmm.
end of the movie of him like, my son, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? They're gonna really use this to really
Yeah,
end the
because the last
movie?
scene, like, or the last scene was him, like, oh, he's here, oh, and he, like, the kid runs away, and then he tries to get him back for the wish, and I don't even know what wish it was. I don't know.
Now, before
Uh,
Mac,
it was the lasso that made him see that.
yeah, before Maxwell Lord becomes one with the stone, Barbara had the stone and just kind of played around with it and was wishing to be as cool and as beautiful and as powerful as Diana was.
Uh,
And so she gets the powers of Wonder Woman, and in turn it's not very clear what she loses, although it's said maybe I think it's said by Diana, it said, "Hey, but you're losing yourself, you're losing, what makes you kind and all this
it
stuff."
basically summed up to her humanity, I guess.
Right. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of where that's the easy cop out into
Yeah.
how she gets the second wish. So she gets the powers, and then we don't see until later in the movie where she becomes, well, so Steve Trevor and Diana find out, okay, it's the stone. They have to destroy the stone, but they find out that Maxwell Lord is the stone. So
Uh-huh.
the only solution is to kill Maxwell Lord. And Barbara was with them for part of this investigation. She was like, no, don't do it. There's got to be another solution. I'm not going to be a part of that. It could be that she doesn't want to kill, or also could be that she doesn't want to lose everything that she just gained because
Exactly.
of her rising popularity.
Exactly.
And so she goes out and defends Maxwell Lord and battles against Wonder Woman, and make sure that Maxwell Lord goes free, to the next part, which I'll explain here in a second. But she becomes a lackey, basically. And so she does travel with Maxwell Lord to this government base, and she wishes she gets a second wish, and Maxwell Lord is like, "Oh, well, I'm a generous person. I'll give a second wish, for whenever. Like you want to wish, go ahead, just say it, and then I'll take something away or whatever." And so she wishes to become an apex predator. And does she say cheetah or think of a cat?
No, she
No.
doesn't say
No.
cheetah. She
She
doesn't
says a
say
cat
cheetah
though, like a
whatsoever.
feline or something.
No, she doesn't say nothing. She just says an apex predator, because me and my wife, we had a discussion of, because I told her of how I disagree with her just turning into a cheetah in the end. She's like, well, she said it. I was like, no, she said that she wants to be
Yeah,
an
I don't think I
apex
saw
predator.
Cat either.
So she could have been easily a bear. She could have been easily a shark or some shit, or I mean a dinosaur, or she could have been
Could have
something
sworn
else.
she said
But
cat at least, like a feline or cat or something.
Maybe he
I
said it,
went back and I
or
heard that. Maybe
maybe
he
I
said
don't
it
think
was
she
like a
said it though.
feline or something. I don't. All I heard was an apex
Yeah,
predator, and then of course they go
I'll look it
back
up.
to some headquarters
The
that
government base.
Maxwell, yeah, like a base where, like, for some reason Maxwell knows. I mean, not for some reason, but he knows because he went to the president's office, and of course, when you go visit a president, they're gonna have all their secret stuff lying in the hall, like in the office, and not even hide it. Where he could interrupt what a
Yeah,
broadcast
that's the
of.
weird thing that bothered
Yeah, that
me
was
a bit.
stupid.
Because, like, okay, so the way the Maxwell Lord's powers worked was that he has to physically touch somebody in order to grant them their wish. Now, he wants to be able to reach everybody. And it just so happens that the government's been working on this project where it sends, like, from a satellite, these particles into, like, every television set or any electronic device out there. And those particles touches the people. And then that just happens to be, like, the loophole behind this. Is like, oh, if it's touching them, then I can speak to them and I can still get their wish, which that bothered me. And I was like, I don't think that counts. But again, if we're gonna try to stay logical to this, then yeah, there's a lot to complain here. But yeah, that's how he basically becomes invincible. Is that he just like he broadcasts to everyone, hey, I can grant you your wish. Just wish whatever you want, and whatever. And so everyone's wishing. Like there's someone that wished to be famous. There's someone that wished for the person serving him to drop dead. What is it? Someone wished for like $1 million. I don't know. There's all these wishes happening. And then what happens? We get this big battle between Wonder Woman and Cheetah because Wonder Woman finally makes it to the base,
Here we go.
and you have the CGI battle, which I mean,
It was
it's better than
horrible.
Cats, I think. And I only saw the trailer for
Ooh.
Cats,
We're gonna talk about cats.
so
For a second, I felt like I was watching Cats.
but
But you guys want to hear something it's kind of
Uh-huh.
stupid. One of our friends, he was like, we should play the WAP, the Cardi B WAP song while they're
oh my
playing,
god,
while they're flying, while
No
they're fighting.
thanks.
And it actually is pretty entertaining. So you know what? I give it a green.
No.
I will say that the gold armor was very what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't hyped up enough. Like I thought that was going to be a very special and important thing, but it ended up just being like a costume, like
Yeah, I didn't
like a legitimate costume of like no, like she barely tells the story, right?
Yeah.
Of an Amazonian warrior
Yeah.
that defended hundreds and hundreds of people, and then that's it. And then she
Spartan.
dons the armor at the end for why you think you needed this, why you think you deserve this, like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was whatever. It's just to have a cool fight scene and just to introduce the armor because it was in the comic books. Okay, sure,
I'll
whatever.
tell you why. This is the real reason. This is secret underground. Shh, don't tell nobody. It's probably just to the CGI. You have the gold stuff to make it's a CGI battle easier against the very more shitty CGI that's at nighttime, which it's bad CGI if they have to do a
Yeah.
night scene with CGI. I think
Well,
that's the only real
well,
reason they did that is so the gold you can actually just one fucking color instead of actually doing a full person CGI. That gold makes it easier to do a CGI battle. That's the only reason why I think it was in there.
Right, and also too, I believe so. Marketing.
I mean, I barely
Yeah,
remember the
choice.
gold suit until they talked about it. I think it was in one of the
No, but
posters.
it's merchandising, right? If you're gonna put
Yeah.
out new toys and new apparel, then yeah, you gotta have a new costume. So with Iron Man, it was easy, right? He had a fucking new armor
Exactly.
every single movie.
Yeah.
With Wonder Woman, she's got to
yeah.
bring something new to the table. So yeah, there was that. And then
Can we talk about this?
No.
The flying.
I'm guessing you hate it. I
Perfect.
liked it. I was
hated
okay
it.
with it. I thought it was a nice moment. It makes sense for her to like. I forgot that she even could fly, and then I was like, oh, okay, so this is how you're gonna do it. It's got a Steve Trevor connection to it. Okay, cool. Like I liked it. I thought it was fine. I know
liked
you
it.
hated it.
I think it was.
It
stupid.
was reminiscent of like Superman and him flying in
Yeah.
whatever movie you want to compare it to. But what I didn't
Nah, I found this stupid. I found this completely like so stupid.
Wait.
Is that-
Did you say stupid? Okay, I
Yeah,
wasn't sure.
stupid.
Sorry. Go on.
My bad. Yeah, I just found this stupid. Is that I don't there we go again. It's stupid again. I don't know if you guys heard for a million times that I've said. Listeners, I'm so sorry that I just think this movie's terrible. I completely just found it dumb where she was just like, "Oh my God, Steve Trevor, I love you so much. Now I'm gonna fly." But where was she? Where was this at in Batman?
Why
v
did she need to
Superman?
fly in
Or
Batman
in
versus
Justice
Superman?
League?
Why? What scenes did we see her in that she needed to fly?
Batman v Superman.
Why did she need to fly?
Maybe
She came
Justice
in like
League?
what, the last second for a Doomsday fight, and then that's it. Why
Yeah.
did we need to see her fly in? All they did was
Why was Super? No, let me tell you why was Superman flying in that?
because he
fight?
can fly.
'Cause-
Because everyone knows he can
but
fly.
no one
Exactly.
associates
Wonder
Wonder
Woman
Woman
could
with
fly?
flying.
Well, technically,
Yes.
No,
She was fighting on ground, and she was kind of getting her ass kicked. Where she could have done a lot more tricks, a lot better on flying, just like Superman.
360 no scope.
okay, okay.
Hell yeah, 360 no.
All right. To be fair, what I did find was stupid was the origin or whatever you want to call it of the invisible jet.
I think it could have been done better.
Yeah, yeah, way better.
But she has
I
is that an
mean,
actual power that she has? It's I don't know the origin of the jet in the comics. So is that an actual power where she can turn things invisible, or is that
I I believe so. I never paid attention to the jet. I always thought the jet was just a lot
where was
like
the
just
jet in
there.
Justice League? Where
Well,
was
see,
the
this is what
jet
I
in
don't get.
Batman v
They
Superman?
introduced the jet and the flying like almost not literally, but almost back to back,
Well,
and
the
I'm
thing
just
is,
like,
she
Well,
what?
I think the
made
jet was more of like an Easter egg, right? I think the power is turning things invisible, and then
Yeah, like the cup when she lost the cup. What
people
stupid.
know that she has an invisible jet, and so they probably aren't going to legitimately give her an invisible jet. So she's like, "Oh, I'm going to make this jet invisible." Hey, audience, you get it? You get it because Wonder Woman has an invisible jet. Here's an Easter egg. That's how it goes.
Yeah, Easter egg, more like an egg in the face.
Oh, I get it. You know what, Skinker?
Anyway, so Maxwell Lord has like this moment of truth because what Wonder Woman finally puts like the lasso of truth around his ankle, and it doesn't just forces you to tell the truth; it has you see the truth. And he sees that his son is crying out for him and is in the midst of all this danger because, like, literally all the countries are going to war. And what he does is renounces his wish, and Wonder Woman is like, because the lasso is touching him, she can make a speech that also gets broadcasted to everybody. So she makes this big, heroic speech about, you can wish for this and this, but understand that there are consequences, and that there's going to be, things that you will regret, blah blah blah. And then so it makes everyone renounce their wish, and that's
Yeah, she got that. She has that Spotify Premium.
and
Oh
so
God.
that's essentially how the movie ends, right? We kind of skip the scene where she, says goodbye to Steve Trevor, because that's like the key to her power at that point because of the wish, right? She has to renounce, like, okay, forget you. I can't do this with you here. I renounce my wish. So Steve Trevor's out, and then she gets her powers back. And then we do see Cheetah on a cliff looking out into the sunlight, but she never renounces her wish, or we don't hear her renounce her wish, but we do see her going back to normal because she's not in the whole cheetah CGI gear again. So
Whoa,
that's where
whoa,
the
whoa,
loophole
whoa!
kind of comes in, where I think the second wish of her being like an apex predator gets taken back because that was just something that Maxwell Lord did for her. But then she keeps her original wish of being like Wonder Woman.
Well, that's the thing that bothered me. Where I don't see a third thing. I think Cheetah's completely
I think
done
so too.
because the thing is that when Maxwell said, "I renounce my wish," everybody was going back to
No, no, but
normal.
to be
But
fair, what I'm
You
thinking
don't
with
really, you
but
don't really
everybody was
see.
saying that they
Well,
renounced their wish, except we did not see Barbara say that she renounces her wish.
but I didn't see some other people renounce their wish. When the guy in the cafe, when he's like, "Well, I wish you were dead,"
We
to that
also
well,
didn't
lady.
see
did you see her
90.
come back to life? Yeah,
We also didn't see 98% of the Earth's population say
yeah,
renounce their
exactly.
wish.
I
So
agree.
it's like, well, you can't hold that accountable for every single person. Like, I just think this is just one of those, like, it's left for the directors to say, hey, we didn't say that she did this, so you never know if she's gonna come back in the third one. Which, by the way, that's a headline. They announced that Wonder Woman 3 is happening. Good job, Mike.
Mm.
And so I think she is going to come back. I don't think she's done. I think she was just made a lackey in this movie,
Nah, I think she's
and
done.
she wasn't supposed to be the main thing. And I think everyone put her to be as the main villain because I think that is an iconic thing, right? In the comics, Cheetah versus
Yeah,
Wonder Woman. I
yeah.
don't think this was justified here, and it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be an introduction to her to be something bigger in the third one.
Also, you keep saying second wish,
Hmm.
where I say she had a wish with The Rock, not the actor, but The Rock, and then she had the wish with Maxwell.
Can you smell what the Rock is
Yes, a
cooking?
wish. So I think even Wonder Woman could have had an extra wish because she had one with The Rock, and then she could have had one with Maxwell as well.
Can you? Well, let's think about. Let's say that Maxwell was able to grant her a second
See, I
wish.
don't like saying a second wish. It was only one wish with him and one wish with The Rock.
Uh, This is so terrible, man. I
Yeah,
haven't
exactly. I'm
mentioned
trying to
that.
make sense. So yeah, let's keep going.
I don't know, audience.
We did
Well,
the post credit.
can we mention the beginning? Can we mention before we get to the mid credit? We didn't mention
The
the beginning
Olympics?
scene of her, yeah, of the Olympics, where I actually was entertained by that. I was like, all right,
Sure.
this is pretty cool. Another backstory of Wonder Woman as her as a child, because it, I don't know, I felt like the first one did really well of her explaining when she was a kid and everything. But sure, we had to get another one. Of her, like, the she's going through this whole obstacle, and then she takes a shortcut where she's pretty much cheating, and then one of the warriors grabbed her and she's like, nope, you
Not
cheated.
just one of the words, her
Yeah.
basically mentor.
Her mentor, yeah, was like, no, you cheated. You know,
You should be kept
that's not how
honest.
you
You need to
become a
be
warrior.
truthful. You know,
Truthful and everything like that. And to me, at least to me, and I've read articles and I've read some people's um reaction of the movie where, to me, the movie didn't really justify of that scene, except for, you could probably say, like, her wishing Steve Trevor was kind of selfish and cheating, and there's no shortcut way of whatever you want. There's a consequence. So her losing her powers was one of the consequence, and then her resigning her wish, that's of her going
it's
forward
not a
and winning.
clear
But I,
connection though. Like I agree
But
with
I could
you
see
what
them
you're
trying to
saying.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that was probably the
hmm
point. But for me, I did like the first scene, and I was like, okay, cool. This is gonna be like, the foundation of the entire movie. Okay, what's the lesson here that's gonna be shown throughout? And then I don't know. I guess for me, I would have liked a like a reminder, or a what's the word, like a nod back to, hey, remember this moment where you learned this lesson.
Callback.
This is a callback. This is the part now where you bring that lesson to fruition. This is where you show that you've learned. And I think that kind of got lost in the, I don't know, maybe in the length of the movie or in all the dialogue,
Yeah.
because right, the whole thing was like she lied, she wasn't honest. But does wishing really have to do anything with being, like, with lying and honesty? Like, it's not made very
Yeah.
clear that the lesson is the same. And that's for, like, and I only saw like one or two other reviews about complaining about that, and I was like, yeah, I guess so. I'm not gonna say you're wrong. I kind of do agree. Like, I think there needs to be a better connection. Otherwise, what was the point of it? Just to have a cool, I don't know, what's it called? Themyscira? Is that the place? Is that what you call it?
Oh, I don't remember what that's called actually. I just call it the Amazon.
I think it's
me too.
Themyscira.
Amazon Prime.
I think it was just cool to have that there, but I think it should have done it better, for, like you said, in the writing of calling back to that moment. All right, so the post credits, or mid credit, whatever, we get to see this woman walking down the street, saving lives because things are falling. She saves someone's baby, and it
Linda
happens to be Asteria,
Jean
who is the main
Cordula.
Amazonian warrior that had the gold
Yes.
armor that defeated the Spartans. But the actual actress is Linda Carter, who happens to be the original Wonder Woman from the 1980s
Yes.
series. Is it the 80s? Okay, so late 70s, from the 1970s TV
75 to
series. So
79.
it was a cool little cameo. I don't think it does anything for the movie. I don't know if she's really going to be anything in the third one. I think it was just there just to have a fun cameo. But yeah, that was the post credits for anyone that missed out on that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't hate it as much as Mike does. I don't think it was great. I obviously is not as good as the first one. But I think there are some parts to it that are fine and are enjoyable. I think it's definitely more of a personable story related type of movie, like an Iron Man 3 kind of movie, and definitely not an all out action, Wonder Woman type of movie that people are maybe expecting.
Well,
Yeah, they could have done it better. Just left out that first scene of her as a younger person. Even when she's at the mall, I wasn't really like, okay, she's just doing what
friendly neighborhood
Spider-Man
Wonder Woman.
does, like just like does little. Yeah, I was just like, okay, you're at the mall, but I mean, I guess the mall is trying to, show that you are in the 80s and it's the 80s and 80s and 80s. I don't know which one was worse because this was supposed to come out the same year as Captain Marvel, so I don't know which one had more 80s in your face or 90s in your face, but right now I'm gonna say Wonder Woman, especially in the title it says 1984, which
I still didn't think
Yeah, I
the
didn't think it. I don't think
84
it
was a big.
made such
I don't
a
know. I didn't
huge
really notice it in the movie
significance to it. I think
at all.
I'm sure people that lived during that time probably get it, but people like nowadays, like current generation, these kids and us, like watching it's like I don't really know what happened in 1984. Can you remind me and why this is relevant to the movie? But they didn't do enough of that.
oh,
Anyway,
okay,
there's
okay.
another headline.
Uh,
We'll talk about Wonder Woman
uh,
in the second half of our episode. Moving right into the headlines, we'll do the Wonder Woman headlines last. They'll go hand in hand with each other. Cobra Kai season 3 has already been released on Netflix earlier than usual. So
Already
Netflix,
watching it.
yep, Netflix said that they're releasing on January 1st. So if you're listening to this, you probably already finished watching it or in the process of watching it. How you guys both have started. I'm assuming Ham didn't finish yet, maybe? I don't know. I never can tell with this guy.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Uh,
I'll go real quick. I did something new. I started watching an episode of everything that I've already collected. uh, I saw the first couple episodes of Cobra Kai. I saw the first episode of Sabrina. Yeah, don't judge me. I saw the first episode of The Flight Attendant. I saw the first episode of Ted Lasso, and I saw the first episode of Mythic Quest: Raven's Banquet.
okay, so Cobra Kai season 3, though. Yay or nay so
Yeah.
far?
Sure, we'll see.
I
Oh,
say yay.
okay.
I mean, it's standard. It originated on a YouTube Red series, and it's fairly cheaply made, but has some good content.
Okay.
I mean, I don't say I wouldn't say it's cheaply made. I think it's just directed and created smartly instead of
But they
putting
have a budget of like $1 and a chicken nugget.
they,
Well,
they're giving lunches to their staff. It's from the dollar menu from McDonald's.
Yeah, that
from the
you can't
dollar
get anything
menu.
more than the dollar menu, or else you're fired.
Well, I'll say this though, it's a very entertaining show
It
that
is.
I wasn't expecting to really enjoy as much as I have. I would love for Sal to.
I'm gonna
to
start
watch.
watching it. I'm going to. I will.
All right,
Yeah, especially if you're a Karate Kid fan, I
Yeah.
think it's definitely. I think it's a show that you will highly enjoy and appreciate.
yeah, it's the only first 2 episodes. It's on par from the first one or second one. It's not worse. It's not better, but I'm sure it will get better as more episodes I watch.
All right, let's go on to the second headline. Dune producers will fight Warner Brothers to keep theatrical release. Legendary Entertainment, who financed 75% of the budgets for both the upcoming Dune and Godzilla vs. Kong, is set to challenge Warner Brothers over its decision to release its entire 2021 film slate on HBO Max. As reported by Deadline, Legendary was blindsided by the Warner Brothers decision and is working on a solution to preserve its franchise potential by letting it premiere exclusively in theaters. It is also hopeful that Dune's October 1st release date will fall well past when COVID vaccines are more readily available. They're also preparing a legal case if this continues to move on forward if they don't come to a solution. So that's kind of that's interesting though that they. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because that's the whole point. The producers of Dune are fighting to make it only in theaters, I guess, for a limited time before they release on HBO Max.
I got a question.
Of course you do. Go on.
Yeah, of course. I don't think you will have the answer. It's like never.
I do.
You know.
I always do.
Yeah, of course. I could rely on you, Ham.
Yeah, thank you.
2021 is starting out great.
It really is.
So Dune is getting it's spawn. Well, they got their money to make the movie off of what, Warner Brothers.
I think Warner Brothers helped pitch into the budget, but Legendary Entertainment is who put in. It says that they put 75% of the budgets for both Dune and Godzilla versus Kong.
Okay, and then HBO or Warner Brothers was like, you know what, we're gonna play this on HBO.
So basically, right? If it goes on HBO, Legendary Entertainment sees none of that money. It goes basically all directly to HBO.
So this is becoming almost like a McDonald's thing where
You mean a monopoly?
no McDonald's thing because I saw the founder whatever, the McDonald's movie where
Yes,
this
yes.
guy like ran into the two brothers who created McDonald's. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll help I'll help spread this restaurant everywhere, and I only get 5%. Where in the end he end up getting the whole entire thing. That's what pretty much is happening. Where Warner Brothers was like, yeah, sure, we're 5%, but we're gonna play this movie everywhere.
Well, no, there's people who produce the film, there's people who distribute the film, and there's people who actually make the film, and it just
Because
depends.
I'm just confused of why Warner Brothers, if they only have a small percentage of owning this film, why would they put it out there instead of having a vote with other companies who actually have a um bigger role for this movie or for any movies that they have, and Warner Brothers like, you know what, I'm still going to play this on. I'm going to share my half with another streaming company, even though in the end they're going to get fucked.
It's a distribution license thing,
Yeah.
right? Warner Brothers is the one that says, "Hey, we're gonna put you here, here, and here, and here," and that's all. That you could say that's all they're responsible for. They
Exactly.
can pitch in some money, but it's not necessary that they need to pitch in the money. It's up to the movie companies, in this case, Legendary Entertainment, to fund most of the money. And like it says here, they fund 75% of the budget for Dune. So the other 25% is probably from Warner Brothers. But that's like, I don't know. That's like being generous, I guess, because Warner Brothers is only responsible really for the distribution of it. So now when it goes into theaters, most of the money goes back to Legendary Entertainment. However, if they put it on HBO Max, which is owned by Warner Brothers, and Legendary Entertainment has no hand in that whatsoever, then anything on HBO Max goes straight to Warner Brothers.
Well, I don't know.
You lost them, Teach. You lost them.
You lost me. God darn it.
This is why the world's coming to an end.
Coming to an end. You know what? I wish my wishes were all moving to the streaming service.
See, he said it. I did not.
Oh no, I'm joking. I want to go back to the movie theater. Warner Brothers, fuck you. I don't care about you. I hope you lose.
Yeah,
Dune for life.
It'd be a very interesting court case, and I wonder if it should be one of its maybe first because of COVID and everything, and see how the judge leans. And so I guess Godzilla is gonna bomb. All right then.
I hate you.
No, yeah, it's gonna be bad, just like the last two movies.
Going off on a little bit of a tangent here, we'll do a video game headline. There's only one that I have here. Cyberpunk 2077 sold over 13 million copies as of December 20th, despite the refunds. So CD Projekt Red has confirmed that it has sold through over 13 million copies of Cyberpunk 2077 as of December 20, even with the most refund requests factored in. Announced by CD Projekt Red, this number included all retail and digital sales across all hardware platforms and has accounted for all refunds submitted by both brick and mortar stores and digital storefronts, except for those submitted directly to CD Projekt Red. So it made a shit ton of money still.
Well, yeah, you say 13 million. Good or bad?
I think that's good, right? For a video game?
I think. I don't know, man.
Well, okay, so my comparison is, the only comparison I have is Pokemon. Pokemon Sword and Shield sold 15 million copies, I think, in the first weekend that it released.
Yeah, but this is what, a month-ish?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, almost right because it came out beginning of December.
Oh yeah, because it got pushed back again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So
okay.
a few weeks. So I
Okay.
mean, I think that's relatively
Especially
good,
with
I
the
guess.
refunds. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, regardless, I'm still hearing it's a really terrible game, in the sense that there's still a lot of bugs. There are I know Mike brought up last time that there was talks about them going to court, and they are. It's been confirmed they are going to court. They're being sued by I forget who exactly, but they are being sued for, I guess, the false marketing, the false promotion of their games being ready and stuff like that. So yeah, CD Projekt Red is, oof, they're not entering this 2021 on a good note, I think, despite how much money they made from this game.
Sorry,
But the thing is
listeners.
that
I've been pulling up Mike. I have not played it yet. I've had it,
Jeez.
and blame Mike. It's Mike's fault.
but but I have another question. If they're getting they've sold 13 million, right? But they're not counting the refund sales.
That is, well, that is, so it's like they had more, but they took away the ones that are refunded, obviously, because that's not a sale anymore. So it is 13 million after all the refunds.
I guess that's good, but I feel like it definitely could have been a lot better.
Oh, of course.
But I feel like it's 13 million, but because of course Christmas, all the kids are like, yeah, I want to play this game, but then later on they're like, this game is not working. I'm gonna go return it.
Yeah, but kids, like, I mean, unless the parents are very ignorant of what their kids are playing, kids shouldn't be having this game in their possession.
Sure. Rated M for mature.
I worked at GameStop. They don't care. They don't even know what the hell they're getting their kids until later on they see, why is your character's junk so big? But I think in February we're gonna get another news that 13 million that you saw, yeah, it went down to 6 million.
All right, let's go back on to entertainment. Netflix came out with their top 10 TV shows on Netflix in the U.S., as well as let me see, I think there's another one. Well, I think it's just TV shows. Yeah. So if we go through this, Ham, you can tell us whether you've seen them or not. This one is top 10 TV shows on Netflix in the U.S.
Yes.
based on number of appearances.
No.
So I guess how many times it showed up in the top 10 throughout the year.
Yes.
So number one being The Office.
Yes.
It had 178 appearances. Coco Melon in number 2.
What the fuck is that?
How was that?
Number 3, Ozark.
I tried to, but I can't.
Me neither.
Number 4, Schitt's Creek.
Tried to, but I can't.
Number 5, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yay.
Yes.
Number 6, Tiger King.
Yes.
Hey.
Number 7, The Queen's Gambit.
I tried to,
Yes.
but I can't.
Number 8, Outer Banks. Number 9,
Never heard of
Unsolved Mysteries.
Nah.
And
Okay.
number 10, The Umbrella Academy.
Oh yeah, boy.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
what's also interesting is they did another ranking. The top 10 TV shows on Netflix in the US based on ranking of each title on the daily list. So every time a title appeared at
Okay.
number
I like
one,
this. Yes.
every time a title appeared at number 1, it was awarded 10 points. 9 points if it made it to number 2, 8 for position number 3, 7 for number 4, and so on.
This sounds familiar. This sounds very fucking familiar.
Well,
Fucking
they-
Netflix.
They beat you to it.
No, they did not, because we did it.
I don't know if they've done this before. I don't know. This is something they've been using apparently.
Fuckers. Oh, by the way, listeners, I made that up. Sal's proof. We have proof. I made that up.
Yeah, but we were also drinking when we did that too. So
So is Netflix. They probably stole
All
my
right,
idea.
So on the point system, number 1, Coco Melon.
what
number-
the fuck? No, we
I
have
don't
to.
know.
What the
is
hell is
Coco Melon?
Coco Melon?
Look it up. I don't
Okay,
know,
I'm
bro.
looking this up. Here.
Number 2, The Office.
Yes.
Number 3, The Queen's Gambit. Number 4, Tiger King. Number 5, Ozark. Number 6, Outer Banks. Number 7, The Umbrella Academy. Number 8, Unsolved Mysteries. Number 9, Cobra Kai. And number 10, Love is Blind.
What the hell?
Oh.
Coco Melon? Is that cartoon?
Yeah,
show?
that makes sense though. There's a bunch of kids home. Sure.
Coco Melon's a cartoon?
Yeah, your kids should be watching it. You
Yeah,
bad
the nursery rhyme.
TV.
What the hell is this?
Father.
I have not seen this.
Sal was about to get into it again.
Oh no. I'm okay. No.
No.
All right. Well, those are the TV shows that showed up on the article. I was looking for a movie one, but I guess it wasn't there when I was going through the headlines. So there you go. I was wondering how much of these Ham had seen because he watches everything.
I tried to.
Watch Coco Melon.
He even watches Coco
I'm
Melon.
not watching Coco Melon.
You're gonna
Unless
start
I'm
watching
eating
Coco
melon
Melon.
and drinking cocoa, I'm not watching Coco Melon.
All right, let's go into our last two headlines. This one we've already talked about. Wonder Woman 3 was announced by WB. Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins will return. Warner Brothers chairman Toby Emmerich announced the news following the strong opening weekend performance of Wonder Woman 1984 that saw the film earn $16.7 million from 2,100 North American theaters, alongside also being available on HBO Max. Globally, 1984 brought in $36.1 million from 42 markets, bringing the worldwide tally to $85 million. It was the top post-pandemic domestic opening weekend for any feature film this year. That's going to be a new thing.
Hold on. You said post?
Post-pandemic.
We're post already?
I'm sure somewhere in the world it's post. As for HBO Max, nearly half of all subscribers to the service watched Wonder Woman 1984 on its launch day, alongside millions of wholesale subscribers who have access to HBO Max via blah, blah, blah. HBO Max as a whole saw total viewing hours on Friday, December 25th, more than triple in comparison to a typical day in the previous month. I don't think that's any surprise, though. I think a lot of people were really looking forward to Wonder Woman 1984, despite what they thought afterwards, the hype up to it. Of course, it's going to bring in people to watch it. I mean, I signed up for a free trial just to watch Wonder Woman, so that's no surprise.
Well, I gotta say this. I can't find the article.
Oh, I have it.
You have it. Yes, you have.
Are you talking about the article that you wonderfully posted on Facebook for everybody to read?
Yes.
Oh, I have it, listeners.
Yes.
Listeners, Mike here, coming in with the news.
Hell yeah, coming in hot, baby.
This is what he puts on Facebook for everybody to see. And he says, damn right. And I quote, damn right. The headline, Disney Plus and Soul beats HBO Max and Wonder Woman for Christmas subscribers. Go ahead, Mike.
Hell yeah.
Tell us what you read.
Oh, I didn't read it. I just read that one.
Oh, this gent's kicking in.
Let me read it to you, Mike. Disney
Oh,
Plus has reported a much more significant subscriber increase than HBO Max did the following the release of Soul and Wonder Woman 1984 on Christmas Day. Both movies were released on streaming after initially being set for a traditional theatrical release. After being delayed over a year, Wonder Woman 1984 was released in theaters and HBO Max in the USA. While Soul didn't get a theatrical release in the USA and was only available on Disney Plus, but worldwide it was available both digitally and in theaters. Sounds good so far. The report states that HBO Max saw a record of 554,000 app downloads on the weekend following the release of Wonder Woman 1984. But that was...
Damn right.
No, that was HBO Max seeing the increase.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. Let me take that back.
Here, wait till I say the next sentence. But that was blown out of the water by Disney Plus, which saw over 2.3 million new app downloads following Soul's release.
Damn
right,
The
baby.
numbers, though, don't include installations on smart TV apps, including Roku and Amazon Fire Sticks. That's not important. So what? No, who owns a Roku or Amazon Fire Stick? Shut up, Ham.
I was about to say it. I was like... Go ahead.
Here's the kicker. The news is not surprising, considering that HBO Max is currently only available in the USA, while Disney operates in several major markets worldwide. The media giant benefits from having a much larger footprint globally, something reflected in the subscriber numbers Disney Plus gained in its first year. Heading into the holidays, the streaming service has already surpassed 86 million subscribers, initially the number Disney was aiming for in its first 4 years. HBO Max, on the other hand, only has around 12 million subscribers. Again, because HBO Max is only here in the US as opposed to Disney that's located in every single place on the goddamn planet.
Yeah, and Disney Plus won because of that.
Okay, so you heard him, right? You heard him, right? That we're gonna stick with what he said, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. It's like, remember when I was talking about Netflix and then Disney, and then Disney had all the other countries started to, you know? So, yeah, come on, Mike. learn from history.
No, but wait, you guys
No, he just says
We're
no.
over here circuit jerking each other off. You guys gotta admit that Disney Plus, for it being a worldwide thing, is success, and HBO Max is such a piece of shit because it's only
Regardless
in the
if it's a piece of shit or not, who's gonna pay $15 versus $7? People have seen more Disney shit than they've seen HBO Max shit. Like, it's
exactly.
obvious.
That's why Disney Plus is good.
Sure, but that's not like a fair comparison. That's like
It's
saying oh my gosh, we did this already when we compared the streaming services, right? It's like comparing Netflix to Peacock or something. It's like you
No, it's like comparing that to fucking I already forgot the
Discovery
name.
Plus
Quibi?
or whatever.
Quibi?
Quibi.
Quibi, yeah, that's what it was. I already forgot what it was called.
Like
Quibi.
HBO is such a niche market. Like it's like I guarantee you go
It's good
you go
though.
to any tourist and you ask them like, hey, what streaming service? They're not gonna list HBO Max because that's not
HBO.
one for they're not available to them, and two, they probably don't have anything on there that they normally would watch. They only recently gained DC stuff. So it's like, of course, they're gonna know
but
that.
the question is, but the thing is how whose fault is that? That's
Oh my
HBO's
god,
fault.
this guy.
But it's true though. There's no arguing whatsoever.
But the numbers don't mean anything. If anything, it means positive for both of them.
Oh, the numbers don't mean anything.
They don't.
Coming from a numbers guy.
When was the last
Wait,
time I said
so
anything
he's-
about numbers?
I'm more of a numbers guy than him.
I think Mike's still drunk from New Year's.
Shit, I'm drunk
I'm
though.
gonna keep going with this.
No,
gin.
but listen, Disney Plus won. All right, so just
Hot topics
top.
Man, I wish people can
Some fun.
comment on our stuff just to say we're like
live.
yeah, live.
Please send your comments live and see
Overall
what happens.
for
next.
both though, it was good for business for both of them because they did see a higher than usual download app or viewer count, whatever in general. I mean, it was Christmas.
Yeah.
People are going to watch a movie. If you have a family, you're going to watch Soul. If you're just on your own or just with a significant other, you're probably just going to watch Wonder Woman over Soul. All right. That's all the headlines. I don't know. I got nothing else here. I think the headlines have been kind of slow coming into the new year. So hopefully we'll get more by the time we get our next episode up and going. Our next movie review, is it going to be Soul or do we want to do Mandalorian?
I want to do
Okay,
Soul.
we will talk about Soul in our next episode, and then after that will be our Mandalorian review, which I think at that point too we will have our first episode of WandaVision, so we might be able to slide that in there with Mandalorian. Other than that, listeners, again, happy belated New Year to you all. Hopefully you like our new little logo that we have. I don't know how temporary or permanent that's going to be, but it looks a little cleaner. I think it's better than a droid that has nothing to do with our.
Yeah, I don't want to get sued, man.
That too. I don't know how that works.
I don't either.
And then Mike, the social.
Guys, follow us on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Drunk Cop and the Teacher. And the email. Write us an email.
Yep.
Because, Ham has... are we going to give Ham some rights?
I think he does, but I think you forgot it.
Drunkcop.ateacher
Yeah, that's the one.
at gmail.com.
Drunkcop.ateacher@gmail.com. Yes, good job, Mike. You get a gold star for today.
Fuck you.
All right. Any closing words, gentlemen?
Don't watch Wonder Woman.
I hope you guys had a happy New Year's, just like I did.